Who should win the first World Heavyweight Championship? Who should be the first guy to hold that title in WWE? Who's the name that you want on the top of your WWE World Heavyweight Championship lineage, a belt that we're going to assume is going to remain in the company for many years to come? And when you think of WWE's modern crop of talent, there's one guy, I mean, other than Roman, that, that really kind of stands out in terms of his accomplishments, and that's Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was the first guy to hold the NXT Championship. I think it would be really cool if he was the first guy to also hold the World Heavyweight Championship. His name would look good atop both of those histories. Plus, you have to remember, he put over Cody last year, like 3 times, including that gnarly Hell in the Cell match where Cody wrestled and beat Seth with half of his body torn off. Cody owes Seth one. So what I would do is I would have, and you got to have SmackDown and Raw people in this tournament, fine, sounds like that's what they're going to do. But my tournament final at Night of Champions would be Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. And Seth just gets the better of him and beats Cody for the title. And Seth Rollins now gets that victory back from all the jobs he did for Cody the previous year, getting him over, getting him on the map, getting him started, repaying that favor. It doesn't really damage Cody at all. There's no shame in losing to a star the level of Seth Rollins, a star that you beat 3 times. Now to lose to him here isn't going to do anything to damage Cody at this point. He's already taken his loss at WrestleMania to Roman Reigns, and it would open up the door for Cody to then go into Money in the Bank and win Money in the Bank, and then go on to challenge Roman Reigns for the title at SummerSlam, like a lot of fans are pointing out. Now, that does seem like one excellent way to do it. I'm sure people are going to have lots of other suggestions for who could or should win the World Heavyweight title. Some people think Drew, some people think Cody, but I don't think it should be Cody. That belt that Triple H unveiled on Raw is not the WCW Big Gold belt. It looks a little bit like it. I'm sure it was influenced by that title because Triple H, is a big fan of that belt. And I think as fans, if we ever wanted to get something like the Big Gold belt back on TV ever again, like we've all been clamoring for, this is about as close as we can get. So even though fans don't love it, it looks a little bit like the Intercontinental title, and it's got that stupid WWE fucking logo in the middle, but that is just the way it is. It sucks that branding is that important, but you have to understand why they do it. These are belts that Super Bowl champions are going to hold in front of, hundreds of millions of people on TV every year. Of course, you're going to want your logo there for branding. And I think that what we saw with that World Heavyweight title, the logo in the middle, that's the least obnoxious WWE's willing to be. So in my mind, I'm just taking what I can get. It's not the Big Gold, but it's not as ugly as the other belt either. And I think with a lot of belts, with me anyway, a lot of times I don't like them at first, but they grow on me. I think you guys can probably agree with that too. So once that belt starts creating a history, starts getting on Raw, starts getting around the waists of champions, I think it can look pretty good on the right wrestler, and we will probably warm up to the World Heavyweight Championship in time. But right now, I think a lot of fans are just a little bit iffy about the whole thing because there's still a lot of uncertainty surrounding it. So I think it's best for the World Heavyweight title and its future if Seth Rollins is the first guy to hold it, because if it's Cody, it's going to feel like a consolation. It's going to feel like we didn't trust you. We don't have the faith in you to beat Roman and be the face of the company. So you're going to be, the consolation, next best thing type of shit. And I just don't think that would do Cody or the World Heavyweight Championship any favors. Where on the other side of that coin, if Seth were to be the first guy to win the World Heavyweight Championship, I think that would do wonders for not only the championship, but for Rollins, because that's going to be the second championship belt that he's been the first holder of. And I think that would be really great for him and his career legacy. And he's going to have an accolade that not many wrestlers have. He's going to have one of those, I beat Austin and Rock in the same night types of shit. I am the one in 21-1. There's not many people that have something about them that nobody else has been able to do. And I think Seth Rollins, being that he's been a company guy, he's been there now for 13 plus years. And we've all been calling for him to be world champion again. He deserves it. He's really the only guy right now that Roman hasn't been able to beat. Seth has a couple of victories over Roman, including a clean one a few years back when he beat him for the title. So I think that Seth is just the guy. I don't like to die on hills. If you have another idea, fine. I'm not saying your idea is wrong. And I'm not saying Seth is the only guy that should win it. I'm just saying in my head, I can't think of anybody better. I can think of other people that sure could deserve it. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, even Cody. Lots of other guys sure would be great world heavyweight champions, but I'm talking about the first guy to hold it. In terms of the first guy, it's got to be Rollins. Then after that, everybody can hold the fucking thing. I don't care, but I'm looking for the first guy to hold it. Finn Balor might be fun as well, since he was technically the first one to hold the Universal Championship. And Kevin Owens would be fun, given how he won the Universal title largely in part to Balor's injury and then had to cough it up to Goldberg and hasn't been anywhere near the damn title ever since. Well, I guess that's not true. He's had shots, but he hasn't won the championship yet. So Owens, Zayn, there's so many worthy. Gunther could go into this tournament, win the damn thing, and at Night of Champions, he's holding up 2 belts. So there's plenty of guys that could easily be the first world heavyweight champion. What I'm interested in is the best guy. And I think that best guy is Seth Rollins.